Good evening. This is BartonSmock. It is Saturday, November 15th, 2025. I'm going to be doing a reading tonight from my two most recent self-published collections. First one titled Angel Tantrum, second one titled Tell 5 p.m. It's God Somewhere. Both collections had the covers done by my son Noah Michael Smock. Um, Camera quality not great. Here they are. Can't really see. If you'd like to see them, you can go to my website at kingsoftrain.com, um, or you can email me at bartonsmock@yahoo.com if you'd like to know how to purchase them. All my collections are mostly privately self-published, um, and through Lulu. I take payment through PayPal, Venmo, and CashApp. All that information again is on kingsoftrain.com. Um, Anyway, I'll go ahead and get started here. First collection I'm reading from is titled Angel Tantrum. There's a series of poems in this book addressed to Ethel Kane. The Dear Ethel Kane poems came from an earlier collection I had called Dear Ethan Hawke, and it was basically a typo. I had been listening to Ethel Kane and writing about her to myself, and wrote Dear Ethan Hawke, but actually typed Dear Ethel Kane. So then I started writing letters to her as well, to them as well. So this would be a letter from 3/25/2025. Dear Ethel Kane, they pronounced my name correctly, then killed my children. A shredded angel brought to God the blue arms of Ohio lightning. For too long an infant heard itself think. God outlasted imagery and gender. God. Dear Ethel Kane, Mom cracks an egg and says she is no longer holding on to the fingerprint of God. My brothers look at me as if they know how to erase my eyes. There is a problem in this poem that only a poem can solve. Death is death because it couldn't sleep in heaven. Stones here are thrown because a stone can't eat more than one bird. We listen to our fathers argue over whether or not ghosts are angels that are sexually active. Then to the same tooth for 9 months. By the time we're assaulted, we've not been uniquely suicidal. Echoes learn the wrong language. In this collection, I also had a section of poems called Communions Collectively. So I'm just going to read that entire section, and I'm going to go ahead and knock in between each section. We've had 3 good dogs. 3 of my brothers shared a dress. Neighbors shook televisions to hear the ocean. Bones faked brokenness. It's not hard to say it was real. In a city of bathrooms, puking is a language. Taking pills in a parked car shrinks God and or roadkill. Sleep is smaller than an angel. Bodies eat pain. Rabbits stick to the tree of blood. I hear everything that I believe. It was snowing. Your father was choking. Bone, he said, in the bread. They don't even cry. The hurt horse beats to the lake a delirious deer. Leave the deer out. Let it change color. Let the horse fill with mud so that when its neck breaks, the neck of mud also breaks. Raise a frog, an arthritic god. Scarecrow, crucifix, body bag. I laugh in church and in the motherless church of war. Brevity's longest meal. Male. I can count on my teeth the number of your teeth gone soft in the knees of boys. There's nothing you could have done to make me beautiful. The ghost of body image believes in one ghost. We're all too young, but see anyway the unfinished angel blowing on the stomach of Christ. Mother from her father wants only the P behind his eye. Distance is clickbait for God. Teach the baby to suck in its stomach. Go bite Mark Ball to the burning of tire swings. Pretend you can be nostalgic in America. Do this by having at all times handfuls of woozy spiders that prevent you from making guns of your hands. Do this by drinking. I wasn't worried, but then my phone started working in a dream. In heaven, every mirror is an exit wound. I told the older kids it was in my ear. They shook me a few times and took turns looking. I rubbed my jaw as if to mark myself removed from the tender convincing of permanence. To each other, even now, they describe the wasp. Death makes God last longer. I count the same money and think of my body. I send a stranger a TikTok of a man crushing dried insects with a red rolling pin. I don't watch anything anymore that requires sound. The last scream I heard was God's, and I named it God. The stranger messages me twice that they recognize the man. A lonely world, but for kids. A ghost sets itself on fire with a cigarette once lit to mark the end of emptiness. No one cares about my body. Touch still doesn't know that skin is the god of touch. I hide my daughter's mouth in mine and wait for the angel of those on suicide watch to notice my teeth. The ghost is so still it's looking at hell. Or maybe I hide my daughter in a ghost, and these are the ghost years, lost to the god of fast food, whose son is a hunger pain, whose son is a hunger, whose son's childishly staged crucifixion shot time into a FOMO that found eating to be a bone from an extra past where I practiced chewing upside down, get pregnant for no one. I am not going to tell you the name of the movie, but 1983 I thought my mom was asleep, and she thought I and our closeness got near enough to be seen watching the wrong murder put a look-alike in the right life. Anyway, the past, like your body, is always new, and before the eclipse I pressed a bottle cap into your thigh. You will never know what this is about, but sing fuck all to your double. What if I am close to knowing why I have brothers? Life is the line drawn between death and death. Once I've seen your body, I look at your body. There's a second section in this book called Consumptions. I'm going to read that entire section now as well. God died doing math in a nightmare. Not everyone was able to hide the body. Men without mothers bit themselves, thinking it would lead to nakedness. Angels did the same but thought nothing. Fire chased an empty bus past the cemetery of the three things I couldn't name. Into a small life of startled handguns, people and photos were born. Game shows, I said plainly, above a hole the ground touches for being hungry. God's stomach is a cigarette trying to eat on the moon. I am asleep in my homage to sleep. In hell you have to give birth to everyone you've killed. You can't have your kids. I dream in longhand, watch slasher movies to control death. No, I will not be doing anything for my mental health. God was the first weapon meant to heal time. We don't all live here. Blood reads, but not with all this blood. Be last, be small, hide your stomach from emptiness, check your children for bones, hair dryer for pills. I wanted to smoke and look at water. I turned left at a tipped over gas can and walked until I heard fireworks. A small TV was showing God the hole it needed help making. A dryer with a baby in it was won by two mothers. They tried to scream. I made a sound, and the sound stayed that way for good. I recognized my kids for years. Mother with her paintbrush and me with my fever. There are no miracles. There are no miracles because of what miracle does to memory. When I fall on the ice, it takes one of my hands as a shortcut. Never reach God. Shape is the shape I must become to receive the world. There is no bomb called grief, no bomb child. The bells were rung, I held my son. You can love your brothers forever. Thunder misgenders echo no more than once. Oh no, Ohio, forgiveness forgave forgiveness. What if you can't stop writing this poem? My mother and father have the same password. Sometimes when I'm touching you, I'm not. Touch tombstone for the mourning cosmos. The turtle dreams of strangulation in a green emptiness. A star is the grave robber of God. I texted the writers, not all of them. Writing is sometimes being drunk while putting a mouse back together in a mountain. We can kiss here is an eye patch for your moon tattoo. I don't know why anyone would want to see anything. What if his son stayed put? All right. And again, those were from Angel Tantrum. The following poems will be from my latest collection, which is called Tell 5 p.m. It's God Somewhere. Angel Tantrum. As forever's divine infant, God inherited permanence. Think about that for a second. I cross my legs in front of light bulbs. Our food catches up to us. Shape is just rain wanting a past. A room is a line break. A film is a room. I can't move. Bring the deer inside. The horse is so small that nothing but a moth fits in its mouth. The deer is washing the feet of a doll. Bring me the doll, it is crying. Bring me the crying of the doll. Turn something on. Turn on toothaches in the wild. Start a car made of toothaches. I don't know what poems look like. Don't die in poems. I wrote this poem that you might read the title and want to watch Ben Foster in Sharp Corner. I would cry for my mother. I would ask my mother, sorry. I will start that over. I wrote this poem that you might read the title and want to watch Ben Foster in Sharp Corner. I would cry for my mother. I would ask my father to cry for my mother. I would cry for my father. I would ask my father to cry for his brothers. I would cry for my sister who said God is a cigarette in the cosmos. I would cry nail gun, cry unkissed heels. I would cry for my brothers. I would cry, in other words, thrice for myself. I would cry on film for God on film. I would cry for the drinking that the drinking ends. I would cry brevity, cry foreskin, for a cry rest, room rest, moon. I would cry for God, all that having to separate the naked from the naked. I would cry for my children, cry Genevieve, cry Beverly, cry name, knowing name hears not. Cry ghost for the ghost whose ghost thinks dogs are real, those dogs with time. Emptiness wrongly hears its name. I've put my hands on my brothers hoping they will want to equally die. In the dream it was me checking on me to see if I was faking sleep. You can change the mirror's past with the face of God. In the dream they find ice in my stomach and shatter notions of conception concerning dying glass angels. Kill my aunt again, I dare you. Eden had to be super small. Took thing. Bodies don't last long. In heaven, a study was done. The circumcised smoke too fast. I don't love data. These babies letting God take shape. I waited and waited to not like my kids. A crucifixion scene where I am too slow to stamp out a cigarette on the surface of the moon. My awe spider erasing its own memory in a cube of ice. Violences before bed. Our brother designed a bathtub that couldn't hold itself in any position long enough to keep God's gaze in the injured overlap of stillness as paroled by a creator stuck in a shape-addicted form. Our sister designed her sister as a crying joke inside of a third sister whose hearing loss created the moon. The moon designed an egg to break the ribs of the moon. Perished thing. Came first plastic, then immoral loneliness, then said a whale to a whale, scratch your eye with mine, we've seen for weeks. God pass for silence in the apple, death of brief eels. Violences before dream life. Designed a seasick photo, designed a darkroom to keep the empty trap from dreaming of God's unsurprised stomach. We designed a terrified mirror to sleep with the angel who imagined our seeing. Designed your mother's mouth, designed a grape all could eat from memory. Violences before touch. I designed a thumb, and with it started the scarecrow's collapsed church of celibacy. Designed my dog-like creature, designed for a deer, a memory using only those sounds taught to God by cars driven at night by blow-up dolls mourning the pink life of mimes. We designed a drunkenness that could breathe for a hole, and the hole filled us with crickets and teeth. The cricket designed a classic hummingbird, too stunned by the non-miracle of beast to leave the pecti of Christ for the prayer of stillness, darkened by a specifically time-worn crow done with being 3 times the size of God. God designed the same features as God. I had my honeyed life. My weakest son, designed my passage through tapeworm's nightmare of permanent stars. Designed this poem, designed the idea that a cricket could leave something in the future and get it back. Tattoo a wasp, its father. Violences before sweetness. Lightning, designed a pair of scissors from something sleeping and the thigh sobbing on the right side of God. Designed sound, designed a voice for God as a way for animals to tell jokes. Unburn the angels. It's my year to add a brother. These fuckers, designed a machine, designed a map to cover with cornfields the umbilical cord cones of data abandonment. Sleep, designed restraint blue. Designed blue. My brothers, designed they are white. Violences before creature. Designed your phone, designed for mine a thumb as the secret god of a hairbrush teaching blood to crawl. Designed eating the bee stings in our smuggled bread. Designed the injured, designed the dead. Violences before astonishment. Designed image, designed a look for the expressionless to use in their broadcast of our expired witness. Designed passage, designed nothing moving in doom's souvenir deer. Death isn't moving. A ghost is an angel that remembers killing God. Deep cry. My knees pray to sugar. I name my sadness after a mountain. Inside the mountain, a flower bends to impress worship. No more poems about drinking. No more sing-songs scarring in the baths I take to burn myself. In a video story, a preacher falls asleep emptying the late Bibles of my belief. You can't tell because of the starfish on his face, but that's Jesus. So what if I yell at a friend in the throes of soft capitalism? Oh, moon of blank want, I eat myself out to make my brothers laugh. Oh, scarce feast of intimacy, my cousin's band has the best name ever. Everyone is alive. Let's get high and love our moms. Violences during resurrection. Stop using canaries. Small motherless bomb makers give birth on the moon. Their crying is real, but they have health care. No one asks God what the body can do. Hope used to be devastating. I recognize this place again and again. A sick son's brain is the dog of time. Jesus died, came back, and named his ghosts Cain and Abel. We fill a microwave with cigarettes, and the television calls it a bird feeder. A school is the church of school shootings. This is the last one. Violence is before eggshell. Design the tornado designed a still child's stomach for the painter of tornadoes. Design the healthy designed a tongue scraping by on nudes reading from God's fingertips. Design the sick getting sick outside. Design vigil designed a prayer chain drinking game. Design the baby designed a baby okay with dying. Designed intimacy designed a son speaking near his father's mouth. Designed a fingernail designed a method of tracing a haircut inside of a circle the moon met online. Write to your mother and live. All right. Thanks all for listening. Again, you can check all that out at kingsoftrain.com or email me at bartonsmock@yahoo.com if you're interested in purchasing.